This portion of Lifestyles is sponsored by Westside Chiropractic.
At Westside Chiropractic, you will meet Dr. Jessica Ignacio and her team, determined to help us get through this season of the year when colds and flu and COVID's still here. What can we do to boost our immune system and kind of really protect ourselves in this time?
So, like you said, this time of year, and it's that November, December, January, it hits. And the reason it hits so far, especially back in November and December is really where we saw a lot of sickness and a lot of cold and flu. Yes, we get together and everyone's like, oh, we have the gatherings and things like that. Change of weather. So that is always a big one. That has a big effect on our spines, which then affects our overall nervous system and our health. And how that happens is, when I say change of weather, everyone knows and we've heard, oh, it's gonna rain, my joints ache. That's that pressure change that you're sensing. So if you recall, like in November and December, it could be 65 one day, but then it drops down and it can snow that weekend. So that drastic change there puts a lot of stress and a lot of pressure on our spines, and that pressure begins to build, which irritates the nerves even more. I have mentioned this back when, and I always talk about it, our nervous system is our main #1 system. So by adjusting the spine, adjusting the neck, adjusting the mid-back, realigning those vertebrae, taking the pressure off the nerves as overall as a whole, will keep that immune system nice and healthy, keep the nerves functioning, and those nerves functioning keeps that line of communication to everything, and then overall you just feel better and it prevents sicknesses from hopefully occurring.
Well, and I think all of us are kind of socialized to think, well, I've got my immune system, I've got my respiratory system, I have my muscular system, but it's all one big story. It's
all one big story, and it all stems from the nervous system.
And that's what I work often.
Yes, and if you stress, so it works as a circle effect. We know, and again, I say stress all the time that's what causes the underlying misalignments taking place. And I say this to people all the time. When I say stress, I'm not necessarily talking about repetitive stress, like overuse, or I bent and hurt my back stress, but also emotional stress. We don't have a lot of stress during the holidays, do we?
Not a bit, not a bit.
Stress levels go up. Sugar levels go up, we eat more sugar, we eat more of those inflammatory foods. Again, that all plays an effect on the nervous system as a whole. The other important thing is that I think it's important, especially in the January months, no sunlight. So vitamin D levels begin to drop. And vitamin D is such an extremely important vitamin for the immune system. So just keep a mental note. I recommend to everybody, bump up your vitamin C, bump up your vitamin D, and then that as a whole with the chiropractic adjustments will keep that nervous system flowing, keep that nervous system nice and healthy.
And that's why we like that holistic approach that you are a whole person with all of these things, but you can keep everything in line with routine visits and following the advice of your doctor.
And very importantly, if you are sick, wash your hands. Please do not come in if you have cold and flu symptoms. But if you feel like if you're on the post part of it, I'll be happy to get you back on track.
Yeah, just be respectful in that way.
Absolutely. Always.
Thank you.
Thank you.
More Lifestyles right after this. Stick around.
This portion of Lifestyles is sponsored by Westside Chiropractic.